Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple: products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, where I wanted to talk on something that I've talked on for a while now. I'm very open about it. Before, I felt like I wasn't as open about it, but I feel like I'm a little open about it and stuff. I talk about my problems and things, and one of the problems I have to say, probably the number one problem that I deal with, is depression. Now, I know a lot of people would say, like, oh, you need to go diagnose yourself or go to a doctor or whatever and things. And I would, but I don't really need to pay a doctor to figure out what's wrong with me. I know something is wrong with me. I'm just trying to find my own way of curing it. So I'm not that type of person where I feel like I gotta take pills or feel like, I know I'm not gonna do anything crazy or wild. I'm just trying to more so figure out what's going to make me better, what's going to make me just 100% happy, because I have to say my happiness right now is like at a good 30%. So anyways, to kind of give y'all a little backstory on why I'm depressed. So when I was 16, I ain't gonna really tell y'all, get in detail what it was, but there were some things that enabled my depression. And I knew something was wrong with me, because I remember I went from having a problem, going to sleep later on that night, waking up, forgot all about that problem, unless somebody had reminded me what had happened. But I'm telling you, back when, I remember when I was in school, dealt with the teacher, forgot all about it, was friends with that teacher. I was very easy at letting stuff go. And there was just this one thing that really just got to me that I could not let go. And it just really, and I felt like that one thing enabled, it just, brought up memories and stuff that I didn't really pay attention to. And then all of a sudden, depression, just this deep darkness within me exploded. But it's and that's one thing, it's crazy, because I was playing the video game Destiny, and one of the characters had said that how a burst of light is only for the moment, but darkness is forever. They said something like that, and that's probably the best way I can describe my depression. I will have a boost of happiness, and then eventually the smoke is gonna clear out, and then it's what's gonna be there, darkness. And I'm not trying to sound funny, or I'm not trying to using this, I feel like at the it's a bad example of what I'm saying, but at the same time I'm that's the best way that I can describe it. It's just a burst of light, and then it's just right back to darkness. Of course, a light ain't gonna last forever, but darkness is there forever. And I'm and that was just something that really stuck in my head, because I'm dang, even though this is a video game, even though they got me killing aliens left and right, that was just some real stuff she said right there. So yeah, but it's just, to me, I'm it's just really dumb when they try to tell you that you need to be diagnosed with depression. What I'm feeling, I need to be diagnosed so it can be confirmed. I already know something is wrong with me. I'm not looking, when I talk about my depression, when I talk about my problems, I'm not looking for people to argue with me about my problems. You ain't living my life. You not living in my body. So therefore, you can't say anything or argue with me about the stuff that I'm dealing with. This is stuff that I'm dealing with. You're living a lavish life across the world doing whatever. I'm dealing with some problems right now. Stuff that's eating at me every single day. Stuff that I wish I can shake. Stuff that I wish I could just get rid of. And I can't. And I'm stuck. And that's one thing I remember I talked about that a while ago, how I felt like that I'm just stuck in just this loop of life. It just feels like that nothing's changing, either that or everything is just moving at a very slow rate. I'm telling you, man. I'm like, I wish people can just. That's one thing that I cannot wait for is when I really blow up. I'm hands down coming out with a documentary about me. I am hands down coming out with a documentary about me, and it's going to. Y'all are going to really see who I am because I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those things like, how did he manage? How did he survive for so long? How did he get through? Like, there's people that he's seeing on a regular basis. How did he manage to keep a smile for as long as he could without breaking down? Because I'm telling you, there's been so many times where I've been out in public, hanging out with either friends, hanging out with my family. Just the other day, hanging out with a friend, and I was just about to just, I don't know, I was about, like, it wasn't one of those things where I was about to, like, lose it, like, go crazy or something, but I just did not feel right. I didn't. Like, I haven't felt right. I haven't felt right since I was 16 years old. That's one thing that I say. I'm like, I have not felt the same since I was 16. And I'm like, I remember when, like, before 16, like I was saying, like, I could go to sleep, just with all of these problems, cry it out, all of that, wake up feeling better. Feeling better. Maybe I've been depressed my whole life, and maybe it just really got bad when I was 16. I don't know. But anyways, but yeah, I just remember when I had 16 and just some things had went down. And even it was like people had noticed, like family, friends, they noticed that something wasn't right with me. I went from this like energetic, you would have thought that I was drinking Red Bull when I was a kid. But I was this like energetic, happy, running around, smiling, laughing. I was always having a good time. Always. I'm telling you, the person that I was when I was a kid, I wish I was that person today. I really wish I was. But I'm not. And it's something that I gotta live with. It's something that I gotta deal with. I don't know what's gonna make me happy in this world. Hopefully it happens soon. Because I'm like, man, this whole like being sad, depressed, whatever you want to call it, it's something that I just wish that I can shake. I really wish I could. But anyways, yeah, I remember like being a kid, not just not even being a kid, but just even like when I was a teenager before I was 16, and I remember like a lot of stuff I would like just shake off, and but like I'm all like I was happy 24/7. There was like nothing that can like take away that joy and take away that happiness, and I played with it a lot. I played like dangerous games with it a lot with my own happiness, and just one day it finally caught up to me. And it was something that I just when I heard the word depression, it was something I felt like that's kind of like just backfired. Like it was just like or not so much as like backfired, but it was something where it's like, okay, like this is how you feel about depression. Well, watch this. And depression was to me where I was just all like and that's how I thought. That's how I felt. Like that's just something that y'all need to know about me. Maybe you shouldn't come out and say this because people are gonna probably try to cancel me for some stuff like this, but I was like, my thing was back then, because I was just this happy, like, running around kid. When I seen the depressed person, I just looked them in their face and tell them to be happy. And I realized that it's not that easy. You can't just tell a person to be happy. You can't just tell a person to stop being sad. There's a process to it. And I now know that. I wish I would have known that back then, but I'll admit, I was a dumb kid back then. But now, I'm dealing with it. I know that it's a process. I know that you guys sit down. You got to talk with people about this. And there's been people that I know that they've dealt with it themselves, and they would tell me their issues. They would tell me their problems, and I'm like, if only, because I had to say I didn't really start talking about like my depression. I had talked about it on a few times, but I had to say like 2020 or not, like just with this whole pandemic going on, I had to say that I was very open about the stuff that would like have me depressed. And it was something I'm like, man, I just I wish like this pandemic was like good and bad, because it was something that made me weak and strong at the same time. Like it was something that like just this like with everything that had went down during this pandemic, to me it just made everything around me weak, from like physically, mentally, my like my day-to-day life, just everything weak. But then at the same time it also made me strong. Like the stuff that I did deal with, I dealt with it. I cried. I did everything I could to just get everything out of my system. And now if I deal with this stuff again, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to wipe my tears. I'm going to go right back to doing what I was doing. Making my money. Living my life. focusing on YouTube, focusing on entertaining my fans. Because my thing is that, and I had to say that that's the reason why a lot of people, y'all will see TMossBoss. You guys don't see, and that's something where I'm like, I never really seen myself as a two character person, but in reality, like, that's who I am. Like, you guys are seeing TMossBoss. You guys are seeing the guy that's making gaming videos or TikTok videos or reaction videos or whatever videos and posting things that I'm doing. You're seeing the man that's making merch every single day. But the guy that's making the merch, Tyler Jamal Moss, that guy, he's the one that's like sad, depressed, laying in the bed, knowing, like, not knowing what's going to happen next. He is clueless. He does not know what's going to happen next. And I don't. I'm telling you, I'm like, man, you guys are just hearing this podcast episode thinking you know everything about me. This is not explaining what's been going on. Like, this is just a portion. I'm telling you guys, I'm giving y'all a brief summary, but that every second, minute, hour, day, month, like, just everything that's going on, y'all are not experiencing that. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm dealing with the highest level of depression. I know that there's probably other people out there dealing with far more worse things than me. I know that there's people out there dealing with far more worse things than me every single day. Shoot, I was just hearing the news with Bobby Brown and his son, and I'm like, man, like, people live a tough life. They do, and they just think that, and others think that jokes and memes and all that stuff is just cool. I'm like, yo, it gets to a certain point where I'm like, that stuff is just not cool anymore. I'm like, it just, like, it honestly, it's not. I'm all like, I just, I seen the news with his son, and I'm like, dang, man, like, Bobby Brown, he's lived a rough life. He has. I'm like, that's something. I'm like, I just, I remember watching this movie, and that's like, you guys sit down and think about it. You guys sit down and put yourself in his shoes. And that's what I do with everybody. Because I was like, and then just recently, like, watching this, like, Michael Jordan, like, The Last Dance, like, watching that. Like, you see these guys, they deal with, like, day-to-day problems. They deal with, like, stuff that's going to get to them, And I'm like, and then it's him, it's Michael Jordan, Bobby Brown, it's a bunch of other people out there. It's like, they deal with this stuff. Like, like, worse, better, or, like, not better, but just, like, they're dealing with things, like, far more worse. So that's what I'm like, man, I'm telling you. Then I was like, I think it was the other day, I seen this, like, post, I guess it was, like, National Men's Day or whatever, and they were, like, sharing this post around where it's like, men got to be more open and talk about their problems and all of that, and it's all like, we can, but who's going to listen? Like, that's where I'm all like, I'll talk about my problems. I'll go and post about my problems on social media, but who's going to listen? Who's going to reach out? Like, the people that I want to reach out, the people that I know that will make me happy, they're not reaching out. It's fans. It's like, it's people that just, they feel obligated to reach out because they seen the post. I'm like, my thing is like, any help that you get, you should accept. And that's one thing that I'm teaching myself. I'm like, any help that I receive, I'm going to take it. Because there's people, I'm all like, the people that you expect to be there are not going to be there. They're not always going to be there for when you're dealing with stuff. They might be there the first couple of times. They ain't going to be there forever. So that's what I'm all like, at this point, I see it as that what I'm dealing with, I have to help myself with it. I have to focus on it myself. And that's what I've been doing. And I would say that it's a process, but I'm managing. I am managing. And I'm not going to say that, the people that wasn't, or the people that were there for me, they ain't going to be left out. Like, shout out to the people that was there for me when I was dealing with my stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, it's something where I'm like, I got to take this stuff in. I got to focus on it. I got to, like, help. I got to, like, listen to what they're saying and overall become a better person. But I can't, sit down, continue being sad, not making videos. Like, there's at times where I'm like, I just sit here, like, to explain to y'all, like, when I make videos, because I wish the person that I was back then, he would have been killing videos left and right. He would have been killing videos left and right. There was, and I had to say that at one point in time, like, that person, like, was there at some points in times. I was like, I had to say it was definitely, like, my, like, I always refer to it as, like, my rookie year of YouTube. But, like, 2015, 2016, like, he was killing videos left and right. like uploading like 7 to 14 to 20 to 30 videos. Like, man, I just, if that person, but like even before that, because that was like still like that wasn't 16-year-old Tyler. That was like 19, like yeah, like 18, 19-year-old Tyler. So it was he was like okay, I guess, but no, like 15 and below. Oh yeah, he would have been killing some videos. He would have, but at the same time, he was kind of lazy. He was, because I was like, you were there, you had the opportunity, but you wasn't. Feel like I just wasn't as motivated. So maybe that's what everything happened to me like in life. Like, it just made me more of a motivated person. Like the situations that I dealt with, I had to see it as that I had to use like the stuff that like broke me, use it to fix me at the same time. Like that, it may sound weird, but that's how I seen things. So that's how I just deal with life. Like, I try to use the things that broke me to fix me. And I know it goes like off with that old saying, like, whatever doesn't kill you make you stronger. But there's things that has killed my joy, and it's made me weak. So at that point, I'm like, I had to like I had to like, I guess, like absorb that damage. I had to absorb that, like, that kill, and just do something with it, turn it into something positive, turn it into something good. And I had to say that that's why I'm so motivated to be there for those around me. Cause I'm like, like I can't, if I at least can't be there for myself, I'm like, I try to be there for those around me. So I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I deal with things on a day-to-day basis, but I'm telling you right now, if I see somebody around me sad, depressed, whatever, they reach out to me and they sad, depressed, and I'm probably gonna make a post like talking about that, like, yo, if you sad, depressed, like, reach out to me. Don't be like shady about it, because I know that there is at a point in time, like, that's one thing that I feel like I need to mention when I tell people to reach out to me. Like, there was at a point in time when there's some people that I was beefing with on YouTube trying to use like my positivity against me. And they were trying to use my positive. They were trying to use, and that's like the number one reason why I was never going to let what people did to me, especially on the internet, break me. But I came out in the post, said, like, you dealing with some stuff, reach out to me. Somebody was trying to use that positivity that I put out into the world. They were trying to use it against me, use my negativity that I turned into a positive and turn it back into a negative. That wasn't going to work. That was not going to work. And I don't care, like, at the end of the day, I really, with that particular situation, I could care less who believe me or not. I know who I am, and I know what I'm doing. So that's what I'm like, when those people try to use the negativity that I turned into a positive and use it as a negative towards me, I'm like, I created this. So you can't overall like try to use it against me. It's not gonna work like that. Unless I put some negativity out there in the world and I'm using it against somebody, you can use that against me. But you cannot use something that I turned into something good and try to turn it into something bad and use it against me. I like that. Nah, that ain't gonna work. So if that's your plans, if that's your intentions, I'm like, don't reach out to me. I know people ain't gonna listen. They still gonna try to reach out to me and try to like. And that's at that point. I'm like, I really have trust issues. That's why I'm like, whatever I'm thinking of, I just try to like post it, and just like try to overall like. If I can't reach out to everyone, I'm like, at least I'll post something and, overall let them know, like, hey, you ain't alone and stuff. But, yeah, there's people out there shady. Be careful of the shady ones. But, anyways, I don't know what this episode is overall supposed to be. It was more so about this comment that I had got on YouTube. Person was trying to tell me, like, whether I'm like, oh, you ain't depressed, you just sad. I'm all like, I think a lot of people refer to the sadness today as depression. So I'm like, you ain't no doctor. You can't tell nobody how they feel. So I'm like, you go somewhere else with that. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Also, I have a merch store. You can go check that out. Released some merch yesterday. And I have a pair of shoes that's out. So go check those out, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. The shoes are out for a limited time, so make sure you go grab them. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.